On Larry King Now, meet Laura Ingraham, the queen of conservative talk radio.
If you're going to play a bidding war for various constituency groups, the Democrats will always be able to outbid you.
Sounds off on the recent White House scandals.
The concern is if you ask too many questions, if you dig too deeply, if you're a whistleblower, then look out. People say it is like Nixonian.
Her stance on immigration.
It can't be that anyone who manages to sneak across the border is suddenly an American. I don't believe that.
All next on Larry King Now. My guest today, Laura Ingraham, an old friend, the most listened to woman in political talk radio, host of Laura Ingraham Show and the Laura Podcast. She's also a New York Times best-selling author of 5 books. Great to welcome her. Great to be here in Washington with her. Let's get right to it.
Great.
White House has had some controversy. What do you make of this, the AP phone records?
Well, I think at the beginning, people thought, well, the administration has to really clamp down, Larry, on this, classified information leaking out, and maybe it was good because it'd involve a terrorist attack, or you don't want any journalist publishing anything ahead of time. The problem is it turned out that the AP actually ceded to the government's wishes and didn't publicize anything before they were supposed to. Only afterward did they say a terror attack was thwarted. It looks like now the administration was angry even about that. And the view is that this was kind of a retribution against the AP.
Didn't a lot of people in both parties want the government to do this? Weren't they complaining in the past that they didn't do this?
Well,
let's be fair.
Well, I am trying to be fair here, but Larry, I think people from Bob Woodward to Al Hunt, not known as raging conservatives, are saying, wait a second, this is going way too broad to look at all the records of the Associated Press, not just one person, but a very wide swath of records. It's too much. And now it looks like that Fox News, it looks like journalists at Fox News and others at Fox News also have not just business lines monitored, but personal communications monitored, including one reporter's parents. So the concern is if you ask too many questions, if you dig too deeply, if you're a whistleblower, then look out, watch out.
Sounds Nixonian.
Well, and someone like a Bob Woodward to say this. People to say it is like Nixonian.
You've been around a long time.
Oh gosh, Larry, how long?
Less than me.
Yeah,
okay.
Thanks.
Why do you think Obama's doing this? Why do you think they're doing it?
Well, I don't think we know. I don't think we know. I mean,
they must have altruistic reasons, right? It's not ha.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think to jump to the conclusion that they have altruistic reasons when it involves journalists that are digging, AP was just reporting, but someone like a James Rosen at Fox News digging, Cheryl Atkinson at CBS digging on Fast and Furious. She thinks her computers might have been compromised. I think we just need to know. And I think the public needs to know. I think we need a vigorous press on the left, right, and center.
And a complete investigation.
Yeah, why not? I mean, maybe there's nothing nefarious about this at all. Okay.
What do you make of the IRS? Did they target you?
I don't know yet. I don't think so. Not yet.
You have been audited?
I have not been audited, but I shouldn't have said that because now they'll probably will be audited.
What do you make of that?
This, Larry, is really frightening because we have individuals who are starting these small groups. I mean, these are like little groups to teach the Constitution, little groups to teach high school kids about founding principles. And most of the people are more conservative, right? This scrutiny had not been given to more liberal groups. And they're asked really probing questions about, well, who are the students that you're teaching? We want their names. We want their names. What? What is that all about? It's odd.
The other side was apparently they get 70,000 requests for tax-exempt status. Now, come on, how do you pick and choose from that? Do we investigate all 70,000?
Well, no, but why do we investigate? It seems from all the examination of this so far, only conservatives.
Do you blame Obama for that?
Well, I think if he either doesn't know anything that's going on as an administration, as the chief executive officer of the government, or he knows something about it, or he's giving tacit approval to it and said, I want to be kept in the dark. But, you know, these people are a pain. They're going to be a pain in the midterm elections. I mean, I don't know. But all I'm saying is let the process go forward. I think making these grand pronouncements that it's, you know, he should be impeached, I think that's ridiculous.
Why do you think his rating, his popularity has not dropped?
I think people think he's a nice guy. I mean, I think he has a beautiful family. I think he seems like a great father and a great husband. But if he got 4 or 5 scandals running at once and to maintain this... I think people still want to think the best of their president. And I think people want to believe. And I think he's the first African-American president, and I think it's heartbreaking for people to think that he would somehow have approved of all of this or set the groundwork or set the table for this tone to exist.
58% of Americans polled say he is still a strong leader. Same level the day after bin Laden was killed. 58%.
Yeah, I mean, I think the CNN poll was interesting. It said he had 53% approval rating. That doesn't really surprise me. The thing that I think is more interesting is that most people think the country's going in the wrong direction, that we have serious problems, that Washington's not really addressing them.
How did he get elected?
I think he got elected because we didn't really have a real candidate on the other side who would engage him on foundational issues. And I think Mitt Romney, again, a very nice person. I think he's a great guy. I like him personally a lot. I mean, there wasn't a lot of fight there. I mean, Obama was fighting on every level, had a huge support in the media. He had Hollywood behind him, all your pals, Larry and Hollywood. I mean, they love Obama. So he looks like, I want to be with the fun guy.
Last week of Obama, you said he is in Washington, yet he talks about Washington as if he floats about. You also called him an incompetent manager.
Yes. Yes and yes. The president will give speeches and say, Washington's dysfunctional. Washington's not getting the job done.
But all the Republican presidents did that too. Bush said that.
Yeah, but
Reagan said that.
But remember, Obama is now in his 2nd term. And President Obama was elected in part, I think, because people thought he could bring people together. And that was really part of the change poster. It was going to be a new tone. And really, until recently, even Democrats were grousing that the president really wasn't engaging on Capitol Hill, that he really wasn't, he doesn't like to burrow into the details. That's just not who he is. And so for him to now say, well, Washington's broken, well, he's been here for the last 4 or 5 years, and if President Bush had been saying that, I'd say the same thing about him, frankly. I mean, he's part of the answer or not. So that's what I was trying to get at.
Laura Ingraham, tough lady, smart lady.
Oh, tough lady.
Good lady, yeah, but sweet and gentle.
Underneath it all, Larry.
Coming up, Laura has a bold stance on immigration. We'll talk about that after the break. Do not click away.
Please.
We're back with Laura Ingraham. She's the most listened to woman in political talk radio, and she deserves that listenership because she's very talented and been doing it a long time, and we go back a long way. We're a country of immigrants.
We should really have a handle on who's here and why. And I believe that. I think the country is enriched by immigrants. I think we always have been. My family is from Poland, Austria, on my mom's side of the family. And,
as Roosevelt once said, my fellow immigrants.
Exactly. So I'm all about it. I have 3 immigrants living in my home. I have 3 children who are, from other countries. So I'm all
2 Russian, 1 Guatemalan.
2 Russian. That sounds like a joke. 2 Russians and a Guatemalan came into a bar. But yeah, exactly. So no, I believe in immigration as really important to our country, and I always will. But what's happened since 1986, after Reagan's amnesty, has been basically uncontrolled borders that have resulted in American wages, in part, stagnating or actually dropping in some sectors. And so what I believe is that to really make the country strong, the border has to mean something. Otherwise, just forget the border. I mean, don't waste all this time talking about the border. The border has to mean something, and being an American has to mean something. And it can't be that anyone who manages to sneak across the border is suddenly an American. I don't believe that. I think it's an insult to people who went through the legal process to get here, who are amazing people. And I think it's bad for assimilation purposes, and we know it's bad for the economy. So my view is that we should have a revamped immigration system that streamlines the process for people who really want to buy into our values, buy into the system, contribute, not be a burden to the system, and people who believe in the ethic of America. I think that's important. But I do think illegal immigration is a huge problem, and I'm vehemently against this so-called comprehensive immigration bill.
You chastised Senator Rubio. You sent a letter to Congress opposing his immigration bill.
Absolutely. I've read the whole bill.
It's a bipartisan bill.
Oh, there's a lot of things that are bipartisan. Yes, I mean, the Iraq War was bipartisan.
And that was wrong.
Well, yeah,
Right,
exactly.
so
There are a lot of things that are bipartisan
What don't
out
you
there.
like about the bill?
Well, the bill basically gives way too much wiggle room to bureaucrats to dismiss admissibility requirements, enforcement measures. Basically, if someone wants to come into the country, if Janet Napolitano thinks, well, it's a hardship for them not to be here, she's going to be able to do that. And I think that's wrong. And I think that's a big part of the problem with this bill. I also think ultimately the bill will give preference to foreign workers in certain sectors of the economy. And that's one of the amendments that Orrin Hatch successfully pushed through in the late hours of this bill.
He's for the bill.
He's for the bill, and all these high-tech people, Zuckerberg and company, they put a lot of pressure through lobbyists in Washington, and they got their language in. They basically don't have to give American workers any type of advantage over foreign workers.
Why do you think Senator Rubio is so strong behind? He's probably the #1 Latino politician in America.
Yeah, he probably is, and I like him very much. I think he thinks we have to, quote, do something. And I think he thinks, yeah, I think we do. I think we have to enforce our laws. I absolutely think we have to do something, but I don't think it's this bill. I just think that's a glib way of dealing with a really complicated issue.
Then let's take politics. Republicans are not removed from paying politics. The Latino population is going to elect presidents. It's a smart bill politically.
Well, that may be his calculation. I think it's the wrong calculation, because if you're going to play a bidding war for various constituency groups, the Democrats will always be able to outbid you. I mean, let's say Hillary Clinton is the nominee for the Democrats, and it's 2015, Larry, and maybe Rubio's the nominee for the Republicans. Hillary's going to say to a Latino audience, this man wants you to wait till 2022, or whatever it is, 13 years from now, 2025, to become citizens. He wants you to wait. You're here working. I will make it my priority to make you citizens tomorrow when I'm president of the United States. What is Rubio going to say then? Marco Rubio will definitely demoralize the base of the Republican Party by supporting this. But I think you're right. That's his calculation.
If I look at the way demographics break down, your party's in trouble.
The fact that people say, well, the country's changing, well, it just means that conservatives have to do a much better job of selling their ideas and their people and their views to
possibly changing some of their ideas.
Oh, I don't believe foundational views should change. I believe that you have to find people who are really smart and committed to them and will not compromise them away at every turn.
Have you changed views over the years?
Well, I didn't like you before. Now I like you now. So I guess I've changed some of my views.
I have a crush on you.
Well, ditto.
We may not come back.
Yeah. It's all bipartisan, Larry.
Laura sounds off
purple.
On other women inside the Beltway next. We're back with Laura Ingraham. Let's talk about other women inside the Beltway. Other women. There are other women inside the Beltway.
I don't know.
Just quick opinions. Ann Coulter.
I like her a lot. She's an old friend, and she and I have kind of a different approach on some things.
No kidding.
But I know I like Ann. Ann was great on your show. She was on Larry King on CNN many times. Yeah.
Hillary Clinton.
She is a formidable force, and look out 2016.
Look out for? You mean beware?
Oh yeah. Be prepared, Republicans.
Meghan McCain. You had a split with her, didn't you?
Oh, it was a nothing thing. I think she's fun. I mean, she's kind of a liberal Republican. It's a big world.
And not many of them, though.
I think there are a lot of people who think liberal republicanism will win, and when it starts winning, I'll be impressed.
Condoleezza Rice.
Really classy. Always liked her. Always had an enormous amount of respect for her, and just a classy individual.
Nancy Pelosi.
Well, I'm not going to do my Nancy Pelosi impersonation, but there was someone on Saturday Night Live who said I did the best one ever, but we'll have to do that on the next.
Okay, you refuse to do it. All right, it's all right.
Well, Larry, I don't. Nancy Pelosi. I like the fact that she's married to Paul Pelosi. I like him a lot.
He's a great guy.
He's hilarious. Yeah. I like him a lot.
Okay, you blame...
She sleeps with a gavel, though. I will say that. She has a huge gavel. When Paul's traveling. So it's fine. We all, I have a security blanket.
Whatever turns you on.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris Christie, serious candidate now?
I think so. Yeah, I think, especially with what's happening with stuff on Capitol Hill, with the party being splintered, Chris Christie, a lot of people might think he's not Washington, and that's good.
Do they still blame him for just because he met Obama with the...
It was kind of annoying. I mean, you got to admit,
Why were
right
you
before
annoyed?
the
The
election,
president comes to help him with a
no,
tragedy.
that's fine, but it's kind of going, you know, overboard. I mean, I thought he was going to jump into Obama's lap. That would have been Obama. Then Obama might not have made it to the polls.
Don Rumsfeld told me the other day he did agree with abandoning Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Mm-hmm. Did you?
You know, I don't think I pronounced on that. I didn't.
Well,
I don't have a
pronounce.
view on. I don't have a view on every issue. I mean, I'm not running for office, so I don't have a view on every single issue. It's really not my focus on my show, and I happen to, you know, Sounds. I hate saying that. I happen to have a lot of close friends who are gay, and we talk about this. And it's funny. A lot of people say.
Weren't you described as anti-homosexual?
I'm sure I'm described as a lot of things that are inaccurate.
That
I'm
was
sure
an unfair thing to say.
It was completely unfair. But this is what happens: is people will say you're this or that to try to demean your point of view, and that is just as hateful, and that is just as negative, and that is just as stereotyping as they allege that other people are about them. When you try to tell people who are good people, who maybe they're Christian people, maybe they're Muslims, and this is their heartfelt belief, not because they hate people, because this is what their faith teaches them, then to lecture them and to try to sort of make them feel like they're less human because they believe what they believe, I think that's really toxic to a democratic society. I'm a Roman Catholic, and I believe that, you know, marriage is between a man and a woman. That having been said, I think people should be able to get benefits and respect, and everyone should be treated with dignity, whether you call it a civil union or a marriage. I don't think that really...
Bob Considine, a great writer, late Bob Considine in Chicago, said, yeah. I have 4 children, 2 are adopted, I forget which 2. Brad Pitt, in the current cover story in Esquire, discusses his children, 4 of them are adopted. He says there's no difference.
Yeah.
Your children are adopted.
Yes, I'm single, and I decided to adopt children.
Why?
And I think I was just called to do it. People ask me that, and I think, was there some epiphany? I don't know. It sounds, you know, you're Jewish, I'm Catholic. I feel like the Holy Spirit, I don't know. It just came to me. I have a lot of means. I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed. And I felt good with kids. And I felt I could offer something to these children who were abandoned. And, you know.
Will you marry if you met Mr. Right?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Coming up. I'm taking her. We'll be right back with Laura Ingraham. She's never gotten over it. Don't go away. We're back with our remaining moments in Washington with Laura Ingraham. Are you totally healthy now? I know you fought breast
cancer. Yep, 8 years. I just got through the 8-year mark. So
is there an 8-year? There was a 5-year mark.
Yeah, I just had my appointment a couple weeks ago. So I think so. You know, everything seems fine.
What do you think of what Angelina Jolie did?
That was great. She's amazing. I think she inspired a lot of people to just get checkups, which is, you know, I'm always lecturing my listeners to make sure you get, you know, your regular checkups and take care of your health.
A game called If You Only Knew.
Uh-oh.
Remember the first person you kissed?
Yes.
What was his name?
Peter.
How old were you?
14.
You waited till you were 14?
Yeah, I mean, one that, you know, meaningful.
Where did you kiss Peter?
What?
School? Where?
What is this? I feel like I'm on a gynecology appointment. Is this a gynecology appointment?
Okay,
is this on a pathway.
Okay.
Not
Whatever
on the way
happened to
school.
Peter? You ever
He's a wildly successful software executive
really?
In Massachusetts, yes, and we still talk. He's a good friend. High school sweetheart.
Politician you'd most like to kick out of office?
Oh, that's Obama. I guess Obama, but it would probably that's so obvious. But
2016 dream ticket.
There is no one right now who's a dream ticket. No, not really. No.
Is that a sad thing for the Republican?
I don't. Yeah, I just want to see how it plays out. I mean, I think if I say something, I'll be.
There's no American
offending.
that jumps out at you.
Not of the current crop. I mean, we have a lot of. I want to see how a lot of these people deal with immigration, arming the Syrian rebels, which we're apparently going to do. I want to see how people, actually deal with those issues, and I'm going to wait and see. I mean, people I like, Larry. I like Ted Cruz. I like Rand Paul. I like him a lot, and I think Chris Christie will be interesting to watch.
Don't think Cruz is a little over the top?
Over the top? Everyone's a little over the top when you push them in the air.
Over the top.
He's over the top. Yeah, he's a little. I'm a little over the top. So I mean, dream ticket. I mean,
didn't sound very Dartmouth.
No, I know.
You have a favorite all-time book?
Oh gosh, favorite all-time book. I just reread it, so I'm going to say this because it's in my. And I went back and read The Godfather because I'm a Puzo fan.
I haven't read it.
Oh my God, it is so. It is. 1 and 2 are my favorite movies, but the book is so blows away the movie. So I'm just going to say that now because it's at the top of my list. But I love Fitzgerald.
I remember the book, but how could it be better than that movie? That movie is perfect.
No, it is perfect, but the book is great. It's just like Great Gatsby. I mean, people running to the Great Gatsby, and it's kind of like a carnival, but the book is so much better.
What's the thing that pisses you off the most?
People who want to shut down debate, demean people with names, and not continue the conversation.
To me, it's hypocrisy. I hate hypocrisy.
Well, we're all hypocrites, though. It is. It's it's terrible, but we're all flawed. I mean, I always say this to my radio audience: don't look for me to be a role model. I'm the most flawed person out there. I'm impatient.
Do you have a role model?
A role model today? Yeah, I do. A dear friend of mine who, believe it or not, is very different from myself. She's a mother of 10 children, and she makes life fun every day for her family. She cooks. She's smart. She has great common sense. Her name's Becky Cipollone, and she's one of my role models. She isn't. I call her, asking her advice about parenting, about life, and she's inspiring on every level.
Finally, Laura, is there something no one knows about you?
I think that I'm a total music junkie.
I learned that today.
Yeah, music junkie, but
I went on her show today, and I got into it with Sinatra and
Sarah Vaughan, Oscar Peterson, Art Tatum. So I'm kind of more of a classic, old style jazz and standards. I mean, I'm a music person. That's what I really. You're a dear friend. It's great to see you, Larry. Thanks so much. Thank you. Back at you. Thanks for doing my radio show.
Thank the RT Studios for this beautiful setup.
Спасибо большое.
I hope that was legal. Thanks to my guest, Laura Ingraham. You can download her podcast on her website, lauraingraham.com. And remember, find me on Twitter @KingsThing. See you next time.